Hello friends, today we'll derive the Q factor. Okay, so here we're gonna derive the Q factor. Uh, Q. So what is Q factor? The sharpness of the resonance is measured by a parameter is called Q factor. So this is a diagram, and we'll going to. You can take it as a graph. Okay, this is a graph, and we'll solve the equation through it. So this is a omega. Omega means what? Frequency, angular frequency. We'll take this angular frequency omega 1, and this is between two frequency omega naught and omega 2, and the difference of this frequency is delta omega. Okay, delta omega is the frequency difference, and this is from the half of its maximum is called I naught by 2, and its highest point is I naught. Okay, so this is a diagram. When we'll add the difference of 2 omega will become 2 delta omega. Okay, now we're going to solve the equation. Okay, so for LCR circuit we know the impedance. What will be the impedance? Okay, for LCR circuit, so first of all I will write the Ohm's law formula, which is I equal to V by R, but here is the impedance. Okay, so we'll take R square plus L omega 2 minus 1 by C omega 2. Okay, why I'm writing it? Because it is a XL. XL is equal to L omega, XC is equal to 1 by C omega. So we write here. Okay, now we know like I naught equal to V by R, and I is equal to I naught by root 2. It is a RMS. Okay, so what we'll do, so I naught is equal to root 2I, so we'll put I naught value here. Well, putting I naught I equal to V by R, so I become V by root 2R. Okay, and we'll take this equation and we'll put this equation here in I. Okay, so put V by root 2R here, and V equal to under root square okay. Now V will get cancelled, and now shift this, multiply 1 into this and here 1 into this, so root 2R is equal to under root R square L omega 2 minus C omega 2. Now what we'll do, we'll take the square in both sides. After taking the square, it become R square is equal to R square plus L 2 omega 1 by C omega 2. Okay, now will it will shift here, so it will become R square by subtracting it, so L2 plus, so here is a minus sign, sorry. And it is also the square. Okay, here I am also mistaken. Here is the square, here is the square. Okay, so it is a square. So after comparing it, after taking the square root, R is equal to L by L omega 2 minus 1 by C omega 2. Okay, now move to the another page. What we got from the previous page is like R equal to omega L omega. So this is what we got. Okay, from here, and what we'll do further, So well, looking at the diagram, see the diagram, okay. See the graph. Well, you are seeing the graph. What is omega 1? Okay, what is omega 1? First of all, I'm asking you what is omega 1. So from this point to this point, there is omega naught. So omega 1 will become omega naught minus delta omega. Why? Because when we're finding this distance, okay, this distance, so what we'll do, we'll subtract this by this, okay, we'll get this. So that's why we did it. And omega 2, what we'll do, we'll add this omega naught plus or delta omega, okay. So this 2 is the precious equation, okay. So learn it. So only the use of omega 2, okay, we'll use only the role of omega 2. So omega 2 is equal to omega naught plus delta omega. So put this value here. So omega 2 delta omega minus 1 by omega naught plus, okay. So now what we'll do, we'll take common omega naught, okay. When we'll taking common omega naught, then what will happen, here is become 1 because we are dividing it with omega, del omega by omega minus, when we'll taking out common as omega naught, so here is left 1 plus del omega by omega. If you have any confusion, then multiply omega to the here, you will get this equation, okay. So it is very simple math. So now what we'll do, just multiply, okay, just multiply, and you nothing need to do. So before we go into multiply, we should find the value of C, okay. So what is C? So we know omega is equal to 1 by root under LC, okay, at resonance, okay. Here we got from resonant, when we XL equal to XC, L omega equal to 1 by C omega, and omega square will be 1 by LC, and omega naught will become under root LC, okay. That's why it is here. So when we squaring both side, it will become 1 by L, and C equal to 1 by omega square L, okay. From this conclusion, we can write C value here, okay, C value here. So taking the multiplication, now multiply here will be the omega naught, okay, omega naught, here will be the omega naught. I had mistaken again, so here will be the omega naught, because we are taking the omega naught as a constant out, okay. So there is a omega naught, okay. So what we'll do, we'll multiply like omega naught L by omega naught, and instead of C we'll write 1 by omega square L and 1. Now solve the equation. So omega naught L plus this 1 will be cancelled, del omega L minus, it will go to the here it is 1 by in the denominator, so it will go up. So this is like this, and when we will taking this up, so we need to put the minus power sign over, because we will use the binomial thing, okay. So it will become the minus 1 when we're taking it upside. So using binomial, So before using the binomial term, we should know delt omega delt is less than omega naught. Okay, we should know this. So now solve. It will become 1 minus delt omega by omega naught, because we use the binomial, using binomial. Okay, now solve. Delt omega square L delt omega square L, it will become the plus by omega naught. Okay, so we'll cancel the term. So wait a second. I'm thinking I had mistaken. I have mistaken somewhere. So I'm looking at the equation. Okay. Okay, since delta omega is less than omega, so okay, I have mistaken. It has omega naught here. Okay, so it will be no omega square, no omega square, no omega square, and here will be no omega. Okay, so here is omega. Okay, and we put the value from here. Okay, that's why there is no omega naught L plus del omega L omega L naught plus del omega L. So this will cancel, we're left with 2 del omega L. Okay, so what I have mistaken is here I missed to write omega naught in the numerator of it, because here is this, and so I forgot to write. So that was my mistake, but now it's clear. So we got this answer, and further what we'll do, so look at that, we get we get R equal to 2 del omega L. Okay, so what we'll do in the next, we'll find the del omega is equal to R by 2L. Okay, and now coming to this part, what is the Q factor? The Q factor is the sharpness of the resonance is measured by a parameter is called Q factor. So Q is equal to, what we'll do now, so take the middle of between the omega 1 and omega 2, omega naught in its numerator, when which will be divided by this whole. Okay, this distance is divided by this distance. Okay, so it will be 2 omega. It is the actual Q factor. Okay, from the definition, and from the initial we get this Q factor. Okay, this gonna be our equation 1, and what we solved is the equation 2. Okay, take it as the equation 2, and we know Q factor is omega naught by 2 del omega. So put the value of this will be the equation 1. So put equation 2 in equation 1. So after putting it, we'll get R by 2L. So it will become omega RL. Okay, so it is finally we got our Q factor. It's so lengthy derivation. It's very lengthy derivation. So Q equal to omega naught L by R. We got it. Okay, we got it. After the derivation will be accomplished, I am going to revise it again. Okay, so this is not the end. We know and we can write it into the various form. Okay, so there one more form is this. How we can prove this capacitance? Okay, we are removing the L here. Okay, so what we'll do, omega naught is equal to under root L by C. Well, squaring it is L by C. So C is equal to L is equal to omega square by C. So after putting this equation, we'll get 1 by omega CR. Okay, in the form of, so this is also the equation. Okay, and another form we can write Q is equal to VL by VR. What is VL? It is the it is not a impedance, it is the inductive. I'm missing out, so it will be something XL. Okay, IXL, and it will be IR. It is the simple Ohm's law, like V is equal to IR. So it is simple. Okay, it is L, so we are taking XL. Okay, we know XL is equal to L omega and XC is equal to 1 by C omega. We are familiar this equation. So I will get cancelled, and XL, what is XL? XL is L omega naught by R. Okay, this is we found very easily what we had derived, and what we'll do, when you put this value, like this value here, okay, we'll get Q equal to, okay, here I'm writing here, we'll get Q equal to 1 by R under root L by C. So how many Q formula is here? So we got this Q formula from the graph, this Q formula, 1 formula, 2 formula, 3 formula, and 4 formula. Okay, we got the 4 formula. The main fundamental formula is this and this. Okay, 1 2 3 4. Okay, so I'm revising it that you will get the full. So this is what we'll get. I'm not revising this graph, so it is like I by V by R. So here appendance, we'll write the appendance, and omega will take the omega 2. Okay, and after all we have to convert it under root 2. So we'll using this pattern, like for making it I equal to v by under root 2y, and we'll put here, we'll cancel vv, and we'll have this when we're squaring both side. Okay, when we're squaring both side, we'll get this, and after we'll getting this, we'll put omega 2 value, and after putting the omega 2 value, we'll solve, and we'll done with this, and we'll find r equal to this, and we finally will compare these two equation. We'll put the equation 2 in equation 1, and we'll get this, and we'll finally when we got this, and while eliminating the L, we'll use this form, and we'll put the L from here, and we'll get the in the capacitance form, and this is the last formula. We'll get it. So this is all about. Thank you.